Okay, let's see. Is everybody able to hear me now? Sorry about that, folks. Thought we were running live, and we were, but it looks like everything's good now. Uh, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started. Hopefully, everybody's on the line, and we can go from there. Awesome. So this is me. If you don't know me, my name is Derek Zeller. I'm the Director of Recruiting Solutions for Engage Talent. 20 plus years in the recruiting business, recruited everything that you could possibly imagine. If you want to check out more about me, you can check out my LinkedIn profile. It's always amusing that I say, we're going to talk about LinkedIn, and I'm telling you to go to my LinkedIn profile. There's lots of other information from me out there on the World Wide Web. Also, my personal email is derek.zeller@engagetalent.com. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'm always willing to entertain questions, help with sourcing, help with recruiting. That's what I am. I'm a helpful guy. So hopefully you have something not terribly disturbing. So LinkedIn, what you need to know. Who can contact you? We're going to talk about that today. Terms of service update that's going to be coming up here real shortly. Who really is on LinkedIn? That's going to be an interesting little case. And then I'm going to talk about my LinkedIn case study that will lead towards we call LinkedIn jail and sites you should not consider using. Scraping sites, for example, and things like that. And we'll get a little more in depth in there as well. So it's 11:03, and we're going to start to rock and roll. So settings in LinkedIn, I wanted to point this out. Notifications on LinkedIn. If you haven't gone to this, you're going to want to. You want to put in your preferences, and one of the things you want to see is who can send you invitations. It's down here in the bottom, about midway down the page. The screenshot hopefully is coming up larger than it is on my screen. The nice thing about it is you want to put it in that you can anybody that can reach you. Yeah, I know you're going to get some spam. I get it. I've heard all the arguments, but honestly, you really want this to be open, and you want to be open and inclusive for as a recruiter to have people reach out to you directly. I have a whole seminar that I do about how to market yourself on LinkedIn as a recruiter. You shouldn't have your resume up there unless you're looking for a job or looking for the next contract. If you're, currently happy in your role, then put what you're looking for. Say, hey, specifically, these are the tools these are the roles that I'm looking for. These are the tools that I normally kind of sit with, Microsoft, Oracle, Linux, whatever. If it's not technical and it's medical, then you put in your medical terms, financial terms, whatever. But what you want to do is make sure that these people can reach out to you because they're doing just as much research now in this day of research and intelligence as you are, or at least you should be. I get in mails probably 20 a day. A ton of them are candidates saying, I'm interested in, data analytics. I'm interested in all kinds of other things that I've done in the past. I personally, if I can't use them, I just forward them off to other people or I put them in groups and say, listen, is that okay if I do that for you? I just wanted to put that in there because I think it's something that most recruiters aren't doing and really should be doing. That's how you can effectively use LinkedIn. It's not just for searching, it's for searchability. So candidates, and I've had some really high level candidates reach out to me directly because they know I'm a human being. They know I'm a real person. They know I'm a real recruiter. They can see my information there. They've done their homework. Highly recommend that you go to this particular underneath your account, goes under communications, and just go into your preferences, and then you want to click that little blue box right there. Awesome. So let's go to the next one. Oh, we went slow. So you're the boss of your account. Login and security. Make sure that you're upgraded your security systems. There have been known to be some now holes in LinkedIn, so we want to make sure that we're plugging those in. I don't necessarily say put in your phone number. If you want, as a recruiter, you might want to. Definitely have your email address in there, though, so it's searchable, once again, from the candidates so they can get you information, your resumes, so on and so forth. I have people directly send me emails. They can actually attach now with LinkedIn a resume directly to you, and if we don't want to use their LinkedIn account, a lot of people just don't update it very well, or if they do, they only put in like one or two lines. It's not a real heavy information getter and gatherer for you. So I recommend that highly. So who's really on LinkedIn? This is an interesting question that came up with me and Steve Levy. I don't know if you know Uncle Steve out of New York, but he's a great guy. He's worked with a company called Crowded. And we were just playing around with some Boolean strings like we often do because we're geeks and that's what we do. So we did an in title that should say in title, not just title, it should say in title, passed away or deceased. And then we put in title, LinkedIn, passed away or deceased. We were just curious, what happens if you pass away? I mean, everybody is eventually going to, hit that number where you're just not going to exist anymore. And we're in the infancy of the internet right now when it comes to our social media pages, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, the About Me page, all kinds of things that are out there, all kinds of digital footprints. They all have passwords. Well, who has your passwords other than you? Does your wife have your password, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or husband? Does your cousin, your mom, your dad? Do you have theirs? This came up with me because about a little over a year ago, my friend's father and a gentleman that I considered like a father to me passed away a year ago, and I got a Facebook notification from Facebook saying, "Hey, Pop Perry's birthday is today." I'm like, "Well, yeah, it would be if he was alive." And it kind of stung a little bit because it reminded me that I can't pick up the phone and call him and call Pop. I called both two of my friends that are both his sons and said, "Hey, you guys might want to pull down, his information off Facebook, possibly LinkedIn if he's on there, so on and so forth." None of them had any of the passwords, and it's kind of a pain. You have to go through a whole lot, and sometimes, from what I understand, even come up with a death certificate to remove these people. So we did a quick, just a quick in title for passed away or deceased on LinkedIn, and the results showed 40,000, almost 41,000 online have been taken off, but still online and searchable. It's just that the people went in and didn't know how to take down the LinkedIn page for whatever reason and just put in that they were deceased or they were no longer with us. Um, Imagine that number being amplified by no idea of how many people have not been updated. That's freaky to me. In my opinion, there's about 1/3 of the profiles are possibly fake or multiplied. I'm going to get to that in a second, but let me just say, if you don't have somebody else doesn't have your passwords that you really really trust, and if something happens to you, I once again highly suggest that you share that information with at least one person so they can remove you from at least the digital footprint, and it won't be so exonerating. The possibility of fake or multiply came up when we started doing searches on myself. So I put in myself, which was cool, except that there's four of me. If you look on here, there's one Derek Zeller that's definitely a different individual, and Derek Zeller's not exactly an uncommon name. But there's the first one, the second one, then the third one, and then the fifth one. Now, this got a little disconcerting to me because I went into each profile and said, okay, well, I'm going to try to delete this profile. I have no idea what the password was. I have no idea how to even get into it. I have no idea how to lock this out or close it. Yes, I did at one time work for SAIC. Yes, I was a senior technical recruiter here. Currently, my current one comes up. That's nice. That's good to know. But when I started looking at this, I got a little confused. So I'm searching for people, and all of a sudden I'm getting multiple multipliers of the same person with different accounts, limited profiles, and high levels of frustration. Um, it's the same thing when you see the fake profiles or of the people who are using it inappropriately in LinkedIn, which is just kind of mucking things up for everybody else. I don't think LinkedIn really, this is anything to do with LinkedIn's fault. But I'm not really sure why these other accounts exist because I don't know. Other than there's four of me on there and I'm not multiplied by four. I'm just my own self. I don't think the world could practically handle four of me. So just kind of coining these things out, you might want to check that. Make sure that you're verifying the accounts. Make sure the people that you're trying to get in touch with are real. And maybe there's some tools out there that you could possibly use to do that. I don't know. Maybe Engage Talent. Anyway. Let's go on. So, my LinkedIn case study. This is an actual true story. It was brought to me by one of my friends in one of our closed groups on Facebook. Was asking, for a coworker of hers, and told us the story that she had been not put in LinkedIn jail, but had been removed from LinkedIn in its entirety. I started doing some more research on this, and she was not the first person that I ended up talking to that this has happened to. So if you're using tools, and we'll get to this in a few minutes, if you're using scraping tools and you're going into your and putting them into your Google ribbon and you're running these tools and you're scraping sites, specifically LinkedIn, the user term of agreements right now in place says that you're not allowed to do that. That you were, by committing and by signing up to LinkedIn, you are going to not use those tools unless you're using LinkedIn's recruiter account, and then you get a free Connectifier, which they just made live, I think a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. I don't know. I don't have a LinkedIn account, recruiter account anymore. So they brought back Connectifier and they're giving it for free. So they're saying if you want to use these things to find out that information, then you use our tool. You're not allowed to use third-party tools. Originally, the first warnings would come. You get 1, 2, maybe 3 warnings saying, "Hey, listen, we're seeing that you're using external sites. You're scraping with those external sites and grabbing information, and that's no good per our policy." So the second time, after the second or third time, boom, LinkedIn jail. Everybody's heard about LinkedIn jail. You may have even been in LinkedIn jail. It usually is about 30 days, and they just kind of slap your hand. They don't close your account. They just kind of like put a hold on your account. So you really can't do a whole lot with it. And if you're living solely within LinkedIn for searching, that can be pretty dang dangerous. So the next thing they said is they went after and sued some of the third parties. Well, they didn't win so well. The judge found in favor of the third parties, saying that LinkedIn was more of a public access account. So what LinkedIn is doing, now this is once again just my opinion, but from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing thus far, I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track with this thought process. They're going to just remove you completely from LinkedIn. Because currently, right now, if you want to look at somebody's account in LinkedIn, you need to have a LinkedIn account yourself. Even if you're X-raying it, you still need to get into LinkedIn. Most people just log in and then they're just consistently logged in. So that's why you don't probably notice it. But that is the way it's happening right now. Curious, what they've done now is instead of going after the third-party companies and wasting the legal fees, so on and so forth, they're now saying, you know what, we're just going to remove you from LinkedIn, period. No more account for you. And they're going to go after your IP address, and you can't just re-sign in again. It's going to make life very, very difficult for recruiters. So I'm nervous because I've heard that there's a new terms of service coming out, and I have a really strong feeling that they're going to get rid of LinkedIn jail and they're going to come after you directly. And if you get that third warning and you're still using one of those sites, you could be losing your account. So that's no bueno. So what to do next? So check out the tools that you're using or that you're looking at, that you're running by through systems, so on and so forth. One of the main objectives, and to ask them, and if you ever want to figure out how to actually evaluate tools online, I recommend talking with or getting a copy of Pete Radloff's SourceCon statement that he did. It was pretty amazing. And I worked with Pete for over a year, side by side, and I've listened to his evaluations and how he evaluates things, and he's really, really good. Check to see if the tools that you either have or are looking at are scraping data from LinkedIn. If they're actually physically going in and pulling information directly from the profiles, that means email addresses, phone numbers, anything that LinkedIn has information upon that you have put in as an individual in the system, then they have access to it. I also point out that sometimes when you log into LinkedIn, if you've noticed, that they're really hard pressed now to try to get your phone number, and they're saying it's for security reasons. Yeah, that might be the case, but probably it's more that they want to get Connectifier to be able to get that personal phone number so that a recruiter can call you. If you are in danger. If you're using these tools, you are definitely in danger of jail and or being removed permanently. Like I said, I know of 3 people now. At first, it was just one, so it seemed like an anomaly, and I was a little confused. But now that I've talked to these other people who've also told me the same thing, that they've physically been removed from LinkedIn, that's a big deal. And I can see that becoming problematic down the road. So when you're evaluating tools, make sure they're not scraping data from sites. Engage, by the way, Engage Talent does not scrape from sites. No. Question one, does Engage compete with LinkedIn? No, we do not. Actually, what Engage does is sits on top of LinkedIn. We log in as a LinkedIn customer, because we are, and we just look at the profiles and give you that information. We have about 300 different data point sets that we're pulling data from to get you information about the candidate, about the likelihood of them responding back to you, and personal information like emails, phone numbers, things like that as well. And we'll even give you like a cool way of reaching out to them, because listen, anybody can get into anybody's inbox at this point. I mean, it's just kind of a no-brainer. I can get emails 100 different ways, but to know the information as to why they would want to talk to me, that's the key, and that's what I like about it. Engage Talent. That's why I joined Engage Talent. Last but not least, if you want to request a demo, we're coming up on 20 minutes. I told you it'd be 20 to 30, so I'm going to try to keep it at 20, short and sweet. Give me a ring, or you can go to our request a demo. So www.engagetalentot.com/request-a-demo, and you can see it on the slide. And give us a ring, and we'll set you up with a quick high level. And if you're really interested, we can get in what we call a deep dive, which means that you give us some of the jobs that you're working for. We'll do all the searching for you and bring you back the information and show you our handy little tool. And if you're interested, we'll get you signed up. Once again, it's Derek Zeller, and I'm with Engage Talent. And this was just a preview of some of the things that may or may not be coming from LinkedIn. But like I said, I'm pretty sure they're coming. So all I can do is say, be safe out there. Thanks for listening. And if you signed up and weren't able to make it, I believe we will be getting this live and recorded, and we'll be sending it out via email to all the people that did sign up for it. That's it. Have a great day, and expect greatness from everything and everybody. Remember, timing is everything. My final slide, this is me, my Facebook, and Engage Talent's Facebook, my LinkedIn, company, everything that you need. Look for our next webinar in May. It'll be fun and exciting. Hold on, let me just check. Yep, I just was confirmed that yes, it's recorded. Isn't technology fantastic? Anyway, thanks again for dropping by, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of the week. Take care. Zeller out.